Hey everybody! So Eric Wood left a suggestion in my last video that I should make a Sons of the Phoenix army showcase. So without further ado, let's do it! Alright, so as you can see, that's many Space Marines. So let's just start with HQs. And first, or rather this is not HQ but most important character for my army to actually work. This is the Ancient. As you know, on 4+, when someone dies around him, he can attack or shoot again. Very useful, for me at least. Just let me turn him around so you can see him. Some detail, yeah. The banner is still not done, as you can see, but also the base, some more skulls on the base, and after that he's finished. So after that we have a Lieutenant, my favorite sculpt from Dark Imperium, from the starter set actually. And as you can see, his sword is done with non-metallic metal. I have actually made a tutorial using his sword, so you can check that out if you want. Speaking of tutorials, there is a librarian that I have painted. Also the sword is done using non-metallic metal, and I tried to simulate casting of psychic power on his hand. Don't know if it's actually realistic or not, but there you go. So I should also mention that there are these decals. These are done by myself, but then there are actually these gold decals, and these are done by Luther from the Big Mighty Brush. I will try to link his shop in the description, so you can check that out. Alright, so 2 more HQs left. Now here's the captain. I have spent most of the time, or rather, this is the miniature I have spent most of the time on. As you can see, he's really detailed. Still missing the decal on his knee, but otherwise he is pretty much done. Pretty detailed. And so when I'm talking about him, you can really see the progress that I've made. Let's compare him to the first Son of the Phoenix that I have made. So this is the first intercessor that I have ever touched, and as you can see, the paint job is kind of sloppy. Here it's really sharp, really good, really detailed. Highlights are on point, really clean. So you can compare that if you want. These miniatures were done like 2 years apart, or I think so. So this is how you can improve, guys. Okay, so the last HQ is another Lieutenant. So I don't really like this sculpt. He is kind of ugly. I also don't like to use just regular human skin hats. So I gave him a helmet. So he has actually 2 helmets on him, as you can see. There is the second one. And that's from the HQs. So I will make a cut here and talk about my elites. So I pushed aside my HQs, and here are my elites. I have already shown you my ancient, but also I have these two groups of aggressors. Yeah, I have these guys with Fragstorm grenade launchers, which I find way more useful than their flamers. Both of these guys. And now I just want to mention how the whole scheme works. So when you want to paint your Son of the Phoenix, remember that you have to start with a spray of Corex White, then put down a layer of Ultron Grey. After that, you wanna put down a layer of Genestealer Purple, as you can see. After that, I usually just wash the miniature right in the cracks and all the recess areas with Agrax Earthshade. After that, I clean up with my base color, put down the metallics, wash metallics with non-oil, of course. And after that, I highlight Genestealer Purple with Dechala Lilac and highlight Ultron Grey with White Scar. So for white I use pretty much, you can actually watch my tutorial for white armor, but basically I use Ultron Grey, Agrax Earthshade and White Scar highlight. For the purple I use Genestealer Purple, Agrax Earthshade and Dechala Lilac. For metallics I usually just go for Retributor armor, wash that with Agrax Earthshade and highlight with actually I think that's gonna be Liberator, Liberator Gold. Alright, so these are my aggressors, and now let's move on to the heavy. So for heavy support I use only the Hellblasters. I consider them to be a great unit. So I have actually 3 of these guys. 3 units of 10. Since I use for troops only intercessors, I will talk about them right now also. So as you can see, I have spent a lot of time on these guys. Still missing the decals on the knees, unlike the intercessors. They actually do have their decals on the knee. And yeah, you can just appreciate them right now, real quick. This guy is actually from Dark Imperium. As you can see, I also removed a head with human skin, replaced it with intercessor helmet. Looks way cooler in my opinion. And there you go. Now these guys are intercessors. Yeah, speaking of intercessors, these guys are squad of 5, another squad of 5, and another one. Yeah, so I don't know what else to tell you. This is pretty much it. Alright, so this is it. I hope you liked this showcase. Now just a few final words before I say my goodbyes. So as you can see, I have just 2 squads of aggressors. So I have 1 more squad left to paint. And also I will probably get some repulsors since they released new model, Executioner Repulsor or whatever is its name. Also I have a Lieutenant from Wake the Dead set to paint and 25 intercessors. So that's a lot of Marines that I have to paint still. I am trying to figure out a way easier way to paint these guys, because it's taking simply too much time to paint it to this quality. Alright, so just a few more shots for you guys, and that's it. Alright, I hope that you liked this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you really liked the video, you can go ahead and subscribe to my channel for some similar content and tutorials, of course. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye!